back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and this video will be about some of my predictions for my club, the Seagulls, heading into this year, and just based on some outbreak players potentially for 2022, like players who I think better their game in 2022 from last year, and just in general, just get better and have a big season. Just an outbreak sort of season where there's always good talk around that particular player who has a big season. So yeah, I'm just going to make some, 5 bold predictions about, some Manly players I believe are in for a breakout season in 2022. But before I start, notice a bit more subscribers. I'm currently at 1,430, I'm pretty sure. So I got to that mark of 1,430. I did say that I hope to get to 1,500 by March 5th, but that's a bit of an unrealistic aim, I think, because I don't think it's going to happen in time. But we'll see what happens, I guess, in the next coming days or weeks. But yeah, I just want to say quickly, thanks to new people who have subscribed, it means a lot. But yeah, this is my first official player, so I'll be going up from 5 to 1, but this is my first official Manly player that I think will have a good season at Breakout 1. So number 5, I've got Morgan Harper. Obviously, Morgan Harper had a great season last year for the club. Came in because of injury with Moses Sully, who was at the club at the time, and ever since Harper's come into that Manly team back in round 5, he's round 5 last year, the game I was at when we beat the Warriors. Ever since then, he's really just been great for the team. He's been a great asset. His defense has always been pretty good with Jason Saab outside of him. I think he's a guy who's given Jason Saab a bit of confidence in terms of defense as well. And I think as well, he's always been always had a consistent season last year. I mean, I know finals, there's a bit of talk about that, but look, he's young. It was his first time playing in, 3 finals matches, and it's not easy for a rookie to kind of, having to deal with that in their first year especially. So, it's a learning curve for someone like him, I think, when Manly play finals again this year, hopefully. I think he will definitely be a lot better for it, and I think he will just have a strong season in general. I think watching that All-Stars game, he actually looks a bit bigger as well. Like, he seems to have sort of bulked up, or looks just bigger in general in some way as well. So that tells me I think he's gonna have a pretty good season. Looks fit, looked good in the All-Stars as well in terms of playing. So I think someone like him is gonna have a big season. So that's my one of my outbreak players for Manly this year. So on to the next one. Number 4, I've got Sean Keppie, the young Manly front rower. Obviously, he's been in our top 30 squad for a fair while now, so he's been up there for a while in our top 30 squad. But I just think this year, since he's becoming more of a leader in that sort of Manly team now in terms of being the forward pack, I just think that he'll take a bit more responsibility, I guess, as well, because obviously with Bullimore coming, and obviously we've got a lot of good young forwards like Sipley, Paseka, Tolutau, and all these other players, it's obviously going to cause a bit of competition, and I think Keppie is one guy that I think would want to stand up and try and cement a spot in the team somewhere, because I know Keppie can make some occasional errors in that, which does cost him a bit, but other than that, he's a great player. He's a player that I think will be the future of Manly, hopefully, and he brings a lot of energy for a front row. I heard in the off season he's been training with Spider Carroll, as known as Mark Carroll, former Manly front rower himself, and he's obviously trying to get a bit more aggression and in Keppie's game, which I like a lot, because I think Keppie's got potential to be a very good front row with a lot of aggression, and definitely can be a good player when he's on as well. So I think Keppie's in for a breakout year. I think this is the year he'll get a lot better, and definitely will improve his game heaps, I reckon. In number 3, I've got Tolutau Koula, the young Manly rookie who's yet to play NRL. I just believe personally, he'll get games this year, and I think he will get a chance around the Origin period. Depends who's going to be available by then or not. But I think Koula's going to have a breakout season. I think when he makes his debut, I think he's going to keep getting better and better from the first game he does play in the NRL, and I think he's got heaps of potential. Obviously, if you're watching the Manly vs Tigers trial match that happened last Friday, you can tell there's some potential and some good about Koula as well. He's obviously got a lot of speed. That's what we all talk about with him. His speed in particular is obviously very, very special and a big part of his game, I guess, as well. I don't know what he's like defensively, but hopefully his defense is good enough for me to really see him have a breakout season. I don't really question his attack either. I think his attack's pretty good. If he can run well, then I think his attack's fine. But yeah, I think someone like Koula's going to have a breakout season. If he gets game time, if he gets the opportunity in first grade, then I can't see why not he can't have a big season. So hopefully Koula does enough to sort of solidify a spot in the team, because I think there's a good chance, once he does play his first game for Manly, he could actually cement a spot in the team somewhere. People are saying that he should be playing over some particular players, but I don't think yet until he plays a first grade game. So we'll see how he goes once he makes his debut. But yeah, I think he's the future of Manly for sure. So I think Tolutau Koula is another one that I think will have a breakout season for the club. Number 2, I've got Haumole Olakau'atu, the Manly back rower. Bit like Morgan Harper, came in because of injury, but ever since he's come into the team, he's been able to sort of nail down a spot in the starting back row. I think, he should have been playing a lot more games before he even sort of had this main year of playing more first grade in 2021. I think he should have played a bit more prior to that, like early, couple of years before 2021, played a bit more games. But anyway, Olakau'atu, he's someone that's going to be one of the best back rowers in the game for a long time, I reckon. I think, he's got incredible potential. If he can realise his full potential, it would be frightening. We've seen some highlights of him this last year when playing. He's obviously the most of tries he scored off the back of skill and off the back of strength. That's the most of his tries were based on last year, skill and strength. And I think if he can build on the season he had last year, then I think he's going to be a scary prospect in 2022. And I think he might even come into contention for the Blues, because I don't know how many people would know this, but apparently he was very close to be playing for the Blues, or not playing for the Blues, but being like the 18th, no, not 18th man, but being the last squad member. Because I remember when Manly played Canberra that time last year, when we lost to Canberra at home, he didn't get selected in the Blues squad, but he was going to, because obviously, if Manly didn't play that week against Canberra, then Olakau'atu would have been selected, because Brad Fittler didn't only select him because he wasn't available for the Blues. He was available for Manly, so he kind of just went with Stefano Utoikamanu instead. But hopefully this year Olakau'atu can crack the Blues side, because I definitely think he's capable if he has a big season for sure. And lastly, number 1, one of my favourite players actually as well. I've always liked this player, ever since he's come to the club. I think he's just got so much potential as a player, and I'm really excited to see when he finally realises it all. That is Taniela Paseka, the Manly front rower. I think Paseka's in for a very big season. He's been around he's been the main team for about 3 or 2 years now, whether that's off the bench or starting. And I think he's that guy who should be the next best replacement for Fanua Blake, because I think Paseka's that guy who should be definitely starting the front row. He's a starting player for sure, Paseka. I know it's between him and Aloiai for the starting front row position, but since Aloiai will be suspended for the first 3 games of the year, that's why Paseka will start, and I think Paseka should always be a starting player as well, because I just think Paseka's that type of player who deserves to be starting. Incredible player when he's on. He's got great skill for a front row as well. I like how he kind of does a side step before he runs into the defensive line. That's really good to see how he's got a bit of footwork for a front row, and I think that's what is very good that's a good attribute actually for a front row, to be having a bit of a side step before they run into the defense or the opposite team. So look, he's got incredible potential. Paseka. He's only 24 years old as well, so he's got like a long time left in his NRL career. So hopefully this year he sort of establishes his name a bit more, and sort of becomes a bit more known to more NRL fans and more of a premier front row in the game. Because I do think the potential is really high for someone like him. So hopefully it's a big year for Paseka. But yeah, anyway, that's my top 5 Manly players I'm going with to have a breakout season in 2022. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of these selections. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the very next one.